This week, we take the X-H2 toward the west coast of New Zealand, taking images of the rivers and mountains while fighting off some vicious local bugs and navigating the well set out forest tracks. We also try a hand at woodland photography. Perfect. Alrighty, good morning everybody. I'm out here on the west coast today. I was planning on doing some forest-based kind of photography, but I've just seen this composition behind me there with the mist coming over the hills there, and I just kind of thought, you know, might be an opportunity just to grab a nice shot of that while we're here. But I don't really like the composition that I've got in front of me, so I'm going to kind of make my way through this scrub area and see if we can find a way down to the river and maybe use that as a leading line up to those mountains. So let's see how we go, and then once we've got that shot, then hopefully we can go back to our initial purpose this morning, which was to try a hand at some kind of woodland photography using the X-H2 again. So we seem to have made our way down to the river, which is great, trying to find a better composition up to those mountains behind me there. But I can't seem to make my way down to the side of the river so I can get a nice composition and kind of set up. So we might have to make our way down the river a little bit further, just down this way, to try and get down to the bank so we can set up somewhere. So let's just keep moving and try and find a spot. Just don't know what lens I'm going to use. I've still got the 10-24 on the vlogging camera there. So I've got the 8-16. Yeah, let's give the 8-16 a whirl first, see what that looks like. So we've managed to find a bit of a composition. We've got this beautiful texture coming down in front of me here in the foreground. Finally managed to find something that the 8-16 really works well with, and hopefully you can hear me over the water here, it's quite loud. And it's kind of forming this nice V shape, which is leading kind of into that then mountainous area. So I'm quite happy with this. We're just going to work this for a little while. As you can see, I'm up quite high, pointing the 8-16 down, so you kind of get that distorted, kind of longer foreground, and it really kind of accentuates that. And sorry about the bugs, and hopefully they're not crawling over my my lens. I forgot to bring some insect repellent this morning, so they are all over me, and it's horrible. So yeah, so I'm quite happy with this. I might just wait a few more moments because I just want to see if that light kind of comes over the mountains. Okay, so our settings this morning are f/18. I can't put NDs on the front of this lens because it's got a very wide area and you need to get a special attachment. So f/18 to stop it down at 1 second, so we get a little bit of movement in the water but retaining texture. And then so I've had to push that right down to 64, and it seems to be working out at the moment. So quick tip. If you are going to set up like this and you're vlogging, don't leave your tripod in the water unattended, because this is the perfect situation for it to get knocked over and for you to have an extremely bad morning. The self timer's on to stop any camera shake, and perfect. Oh boy, I've not had to do this in a while. I've found this spot and I'm just kind of waiting for the light to hit. And you can see just there, above me here, the light's just starting to kind of come over and just bounce into the top of that little kind of snowy ledge there. So I'm waiting for it to translate to this area here, which might take a little longer. So unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to sit it out because our next move is heading into the bush there, and we're going to try our hand at some woodland photography. The car for a second. It's been raining and it's just getting way too hot. It's about 12 degrees now, which is crazy considering it's you know, just coming out of the winter time. Yeah, so I've just had to get rid of the heavy fleece, put on something a bit lighter, so we can now head into the kind of wooded area there, the scrub, and see if we can find any nice compositions. Today's just a bit of a scouting mission, so we can see and then learn about how the light hits this area. It's funny, this morning I was trying to look for vantage points of that peak over there, and check this view out. I should have just come straight up here. This is incredible. We might just be able to catch a rainbow, but I'm going to use the vlogging camera. Quite liking this little log against the moss there. I think that kind of the subtle earthy colours against the green might actually work quite well. So I might grab the camera out and give this a whirl. Not what I was expecting, but let's give it a go. And alrighty, finally after searching and searching and searching, I seem to have found a nice composition. The light's just coming through the trees and just hitting this this tree that I can isolate, so I can kind of simplify it, make it a better composition. So I'll just flip the camera around and I'll show you that now. Okay, now I'm hoping you can see that there. So you can see the tree with just a little bit of light, just kind of rim light, just hitting that left side of it there. It's just a really nice simple composition. I've decided to use the 50 to 140 for this shot, just so I can get a little bit, just condense it a little bit, and just isolate that tree against the messy background. So going to go ahead and take the shot. You can see just how far away we are. It's just that tree there. So yeah, glad to get this one, and hopefully we can get one or two more, scope the area out, and then we might head home for some lunch. Alrighty, looks like our nice little track is starting to turn into a bit of a hike, so I think I might even turn around and just start making my way back down the trail, and hopefully we can find a few compositions on the way back. You know, it's been a pretty successful morning. I had a couple of shots that I'm semi-happy with, but it's just an area I've been meaning to get out to for a very long time. So just having, I guess, gotten out here, having some okay light, and just mucking around with the X-H2 again, has been a great experience. So I'll just show you down here how kind of treacherous it starts to get. It's funny, I kind of feel like this is going to be one of those vlogs where I kind of feel like it's about to end, or you know, the light starts to, you know, kind of die out, or I just run out of compositions. But I keep, as I'm walking backwards, that's why you should always kind of look behind you, I keep finding all these little compositions that I kind of like, and ones that I feel like could be better in the future, but I want to take it now, work on it, have a look at it when I get home on the computer, and see what it looks like, and then come back to it and then nail it at a later date. So we've got this composition. I've got the 50 to 140, and it's kind of miles down there. You've got two trees and then one kind of coming on a diagonal there with a bit of light just hitting it ever so subtly. Okay, now looking at the back of the screen there, you can see shutter speed of 1/5 of a second at f11, keeping it nice and sharp. I don't need all that stuff in the background in focus. And then we've got the ISO at 160. We can actually drop that down to the native ISO, which means we might just take that to 1/4. There we go, that looks looking good. And just because we've got a long lens on, I'm going to put the self timer on and put it to 10 seconds, just so I can press the button, and then that should stable itself out before it triggers the shutter. Fantastic. And you can see the level I'm using there as well. I always use that, you know, whether I'm vlogging or taking photos, because it's just such a pain when you get back to your computer and your level, your horizon's not quite level. It doesn't matter so much in here. Obviously the two trees on the side, having them upright is probably the most important thing. But yeah, quite happy with that shot. Might end up cropping in a little bit, but we've got, you know, choices that we can make in post. Alrighty, what an absolute thrill. Look, thank you so much again for tuning in. It's been an absolute blast. You know, my first real dive into kind of woodland photography and trying to unpack all of the mess. It's so hard to get those trees kind of alone, or, you know, to give each tree or branch enough space. So it's something that I'm really looking forward to working on, and given this is only you know, 40 to an hour from my house, it just means that you know, I can come out here without it being too much of a hassle. So we'll come out and do a bit more of this, and really kind of, you know, fine tune our skills. So yeah, and it was also great to use the X-H2 again for my my second proper outing, because I'm in a good position now probably to do a proper review on that, and then kind of come to a conclusion as to whether this camera is going to be one that I invest in, or whether I stick with the GFX and use maybe the X-H2S for a bit more speed. So all that to come, but once again, thank you so much. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe, because that's the best way to support my channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.